The number one goal in the United States this year for New Year's is to save money. And I'm sure that it is very similar in a lot of the other countries. I know I watch a lot of frugal channels and it is the same all over. A lot of us are pinching pennies. So I'm hoping that this video will be some frugal inspiration for you today to be able to find ways to save money in your own home. Let's get started.
Hi, I'm Bonita and I am early retired. I'm not old enough yet for Social Security. I'm living on a low income and I am living off of savings. And right now I'm spending the winter in my RV in the Rio Grande Valley in South Texas. I normally live in Kansas. I have frugal videos all year round, and I hope that you will join me this year in 2025 as we share ways to save money and live our dreams.
As you can see, I made it down to Texas. I'm here with Fluff, and so I am filming out of my camper today. But we're going to talk today about a little bit more frugal inspiration to find ways to save money. And one of those great ways is to use things we've already purchased. I hear from a lot of people, I don't want to do frugal living. I don't want to go without. But we don't have to go without if we've used things we have already bought and paid for. And so many of us are surprised at some of the things that we have laying around that we haven't used. And I am included in that. One of the things, and I'm embarrassed to say, that I've had for 4 years is this salted caramel syrup. Now, as you can see, it's almost gone, but this was half full, and it's been half full for almost 4 years. And I found it in my cabinet, and I thought, I need to be using that up. I bought it 4 years ago. It wasn't my favorite. I started using it again. I like it just fine, and I've used up almost all of it. Now, am I going to buy it again? No, I'm not going to buy it again, but I'm going to get use out of it. And while I'm using this, I'm not using some of the other supplies that I normally was using before. So yeah, I'm using up what I got. I'm kind of proud of myself for making myself use this. And it just goes to show that sometimes our tastes change. Sometimes we think we don't like something, but if we give it a second try, we can go ahead and use it up. And if we think about the fact that maybe we're using it in the place of something that we already have that we like better, or something that we would normally be buying, and think about the money that it's saving us for those times that we're using it and making that other stuff we like better last longer, it gives us some motivation to go ahead and use up what we already own. Another thing that I found, and this was my husband's, is some shampoo. And I don't know why. I have found it in a box in a closet, and it was buried, and it's so old. I don't even want to tell you how old this is, but the consistency changed a little bit. It got thinner than the thicker shampoo you're used to, but you know what? It suds fine. It washes my hair fine, and I've almost used this up too. And while I'm using this up, I'm saving the shampoo that I was using instead. So once this is gone, which was about a half of a bottle again, I'm saving about a half of a bottle of another type of shampoo, and I'm getting this bottle used up and out of my house. So I have a Facebook group now for pennies to dollars, and I have been sharing some things on there, and we've been getting some good feedback. Now, not to embarrass anyone. I'm not trying to embarrass people. I'm trying to motivate you all. I asked people, what have you found in your house that you could be using up, that you could be saving money this year by using those products instead of buying more? And here are some of the things that I was told. Diana told me she found extra shampoo and extra toothpaste when they recently moved that she didn't know she had. So now she doesn't have to buy any of that for a while. That's money in the bank, right? Stacy told me she found 32 rolls of Scotch tape. Now, I'm guilty of this. There for a while at Christmas, every year, I'd be like, do I have tape? I'm not sure if I have tape. I don't want to get home and not have tape to wrap. So you grab another package of 2 or 3, and then you realize if you start putting everything together, all the like things together in your house, you start realizing I've got more of these than I realized. But a lot of us don't stop and put all of the like things together. Maybe we have several different totes or several different boxes of Christmas things, or maybe it gets separated because we've wrapped birthday presents or wedding presents or graduation presents. So this is not any bad thing that we have this stuff. This is money in the bank when we find it. We make a mental note and we say, I'm not going to buy this now because I know that I have an overabundance of this stuff right now. Sonia told me she has extra shower gel, hair products, makeup, skincare, cleaning products, laundry supplies. And so she is going to try to stop buying all of those categories until she uses up most of what she has. That's extra money that we're normally throwing in our carts. So just using some of the stuff that's an overabundance in our house, that's already available to us, that's already bought and paid for, can save us some money going into the new year. Kathy found a lot of boxes of stuffing that she didn't realize that she had. She tries to stock a year's worth of food and buys things when they're on sale. And she must have bought a lot of these several different times on sale. And now she has way more than she needs. So look through your stuff and pull things forward. Look in some of those areas that maybe you haven't looked at in a while and see what you find. And maybe if it's like that caramel salt syrup, maybe you can pull it out and give it another go and say, this isn't so bad. I probably won't buy it again. But again, it's half of a bottle of that. And I've been drinking my coffee with it for about 3 weeks now. So I'm saving the products I do like while I'm using that up and making some extra space in my cabinet. So if we think about how much money we could save by just doing some of this with things we already have available to us, think how much extra money we would have going forward into the new year. We would know what we had, we would be using what we had, and we would make a mental note not to be purchasing those items. And so we could save that money for something that we really want or that we really could use, or put it in an area that we need more. And this happens to so many of us. Not all of us can afford to stock up, but even those of us that have been on a low income may have some of these things tucked away that we've forgotten about, and we need that money more than ever. So look through those cabinets, look through those drawers, look through those boxes that maybe you don't know exactly what is in them and you've had them stuck back for a while. Not overbuying things and focusing on using things that we already have going into the new year is a great way to save money. So if you can't tell already, I am a believer in frugal living and saving money. It has given me the life that I want. I'm happier than I've ever been. And it's just because I have figured out places to save money that are not a big deal to me so that I can use the money where I want to use it. And right now I'm wintering in Texas using some of those savings on my lot rent with my RV in a warmer climate. And that's what I wanted to do with some of my money. I also save up to buy Christmas gifts and things like that for my kids and grandkids at the end of the year. Those are probably my 2 biggest purchases during the year that I save for. I save in lots of ways just so I can do those types of things. Now, everybody's priorities are different, and so I know that yours look different than mine, and that's absolutely okay. We don't have to justify to each other what we want to spend our extra money on. We just need to be able to inspire each other to save our money so we can each decide that for ourselves. I do lots of things just in my daily routine to try to save money. For instance, I will plug my computer in until the battery is charged, and then I will unplug it until it is almost dead before I plug it in again to use electricity. Now, when I worked at my last job, we had a lot of problems with laptops holding their charge, and we had to go out on field visits to people's homes. And our IT department told us, unplug your laptop, let that battery work, let that battery learn to charge on its own, and it will make your battery last longer and you won't have to replace the battery. So I also do that with my phone. I charge my phone, I let the battery run low, then I charge it again to try to give myself a healthy battery life and also save myself some electricity. I also have never put in central heat and air in my home in Kansas, and it's actually cheaper for me to do that. Is all of the house exactly one temperature all of the time or the same temperature? No. But a window AC unit is a lot cheaper to replace than a air conditioning unit, and a propane stove is a lot cheaper to replace than a furnace. And so by having these things, it saves me money. Now, that's not everyone's choice, but again, there are choices that we can make that will save us money that sometimes are not common ground and are not what everybody else does. But that doesn't mean that it's not okay for you if it's something that you can live with, that you're comfortable living with, and that you make the choice to live with. And when the electricity goes out, I can still use my propane stove. I can use it to heat my home. I can still use my gas stove to cook with, so we can still stay warm and we can still cook our food. And sometimes when you're all electric, you can't do those things. So those are just some of the choices that we've made to save money. I also don't always follow instructions, and I do that to save money. Even the laundry detergent that I buy, that is the Hispanic brands that I told you about that I love, the Roma, the Foca, the Ariel, it will say to use 2 caps in a load of laundry. Well, I use about 3/4 of 1 cap in a load, and the cap is really, really small. So probably about a tablespoon in my laundry, and my clothes still come out fine. My laundry detergent lasts twice as long. And I do the same thing with coffee. If you've ever read the instructions on coffee, and I don't know if you have, it says to use a scoop, which is usually a tablespoon, in 6 ounces of coffee. Well, we like the darker coffee, and I use about 3/4 of a scoop, and I use it for 12 ounces. Let me know how you mix your coffee up. But so many instructions will encourage us to actually use more product. We've all heard the wash, rinse, repeat thing, and we all know it's not necessary to wash your hair, rinse it, and repeat. But a lot of products are written so that you use more of their product. And sometimes we get caught up in thinking we need to follow the instructions, and sometimes we don't read the instructions at all. And many people have been caught in that trap of using too much laundry soap because they either read the instructions or they just filled up the cap only to find out that the cap was marked to only fill it up this big, but they make the cap this big so people just fill it to the top. So think about what you use and whether or not reading the instructions will make you use more product than you actually need to use to make you go through it faster. Now, if any of these things that I'm talking about today has inspired you to think about some of the things that you have that you could be using up, share them in the comments below, because we all get inspiration from each other when we think about some of the categories that we share. Thank you all for watching today. Thank you to all of the people who have helped me get to 8,000 subscribers. I never anticipated that. I just appreciate all of you so very much. Here is Fluff. He is so happy to be back in the camper. We had a rough trip down here. He threw up in the car and got a little car sick, and he was really nervous about the ride. But as soon as we put him in the RV, he was like, oh, if you told me I was coming here, there wouldn't have been a problem. So he just loves the camper life so very much. He has a grumpy face, but he's super sweet. Thank you all for watching today. Feel free to comment and give us ideas of things that maybe you found that we could look for in our own homes that maybe we haven't thought about using up this year. Remember that #1 goal in the United States this year, we're trying to save money where we can. Have a great day.